Hello, welcome. This is my first video, so apologies if it is jank as all get out, but hi, hello, welcome. This is my deck tech, my first deck tech. Hopefully there will be more. What am I doing a deck tech of? That was a meaty slap. Gyrus, Waker of Corpses. Now, this was one of my first decks I ever built. I think it was my third. And I've upgraded it and improved it ever since. And I'm really surprised I don't see it often in the wild. Like, it's such a common strategy, and it seems it's really similar to the person who like smiles at death. Alessia is her name, but it's in Jund, which is my favorite color combination. So, how does this deck work? Well, it is a reanimator strategy, and it's a very control-y type of deck. There are a lot of creatures in here that just it blows up stuff or it controls the board in some way, and when they die or if I mill them into the graveyard, I can always use them with Gyrus. So let's get onto it. We gotta get onto the. I'm sorry to say this, but we gotta get onto the boring part first. Lands. A wise man once said, build cheap land bases. That's exactly what I do. I just built what I had around the house, upgraded it over time, like naturally, but it's still mostly like I have a lot of basic forests, a lot of basic mountains, and a lot of basic swamps. And then for multicolored lands, I have Command Tower, Savage Lands, Gateway Plaza, because again, cheap. Blackcleave Cliffs. I had this card. I think it's expensive, but it's in here because I just had it laying around. Bloodfell Caves, Cinder Barrens, Rockfall Vale, Rootbound Crag, Rugged Highlands, Jungle Hollow, Foul Orchid, Haunted Fengraf, and a Myriad Landscape. Those are the... You don't need to spend a fortune. I don't need to remortgage my house to build a land base. It should... Next up, we're getting into some of the meat and bones of the deck. Artifacts, enchantments, and Planeswalker. I have one Planeswalker in here. So I have a Soul Ring because it's Commander. Altar of Dementia, a really good mill card for me, and sometimes a win condition. I'll get onto that later. Sundial of the Infinite, okay. Cool interaction with Gyrus. It says, exile the token at the end of combat. Well, what if, hear me out, the end of combat never happened? Sundial of the Infinite says, end the turn, which says, exile all spells and abilities that are on the stack, including that. So I just get to keep the tokens that it produces. Fun. Grimoire of the Dead. It's a slow card, but if I can pull it off, it's really funny. And then enchantments, Animate Dead, because again, I am playing a reanimator style deck. Deadbridge Chant, I want stuff in my graveyard so that I can use it later in the game. Primal Vigor, this was the cheap version of Doubling Season for a time period. It is not now, and now I have it. Cool. And then the one Planeswalker, Chandra, I mainly use her 0 ability. It's like a wheel. I think it is. They're good cards. Next up are the spell slinging side of the deck, instant and sorceries. I have Harrow because ramp. Grapple with the Past, a good cheap way to get stuff into my graveyard and select cards that I want. Same with Grisly Salvage. Costly Plunder. I usually want to be getting stuff into the graveyard, so if that means sacking a couple stuff, you gotta do what you gotta do. And plus it gives me 2 cards, which is fun. Harness Infinity. I pulled this from a pack. I got it foil. It's from my favorite artist. I had to put it in a deck somewhere. This seemed like the best fit for it. If it's not that good in this deck, don't fight me. Windgrace's Judgment for some removal. Putrefy for some removal. Deadly Rollick for some removal. Buried Alive, like one of the only, I think there are only like 2 tutor effects in the deck. I don't like tutors. I just don't think they're fun. It makes the game feel samey every single time because why not just get your best card that you need? But yeah, I usually find either tools to just put in my graveyard and blow stuff up, or my win con with that. Ever After, again, Reanimator style deck. This gets 2 creatures out of the grid. This is a good card. Like, and it goes onto the bottom of your library. I better be seeing this in more decks, because this is a really good card. I don't really see it all that often. Stitched Together, Threshold really isn't a problem for me in this deck, so it's usually just to get something back from your graveyard to the battlefield. Life and Death, again, Reanimator. I don't think I have ever used the life side of this card, but you know, it's there if I need it. Persist, I pulled this from a pack. Fits well in the deck. And Lavalanche, because board wipes are fun, and this is what I had at the time. I probably should add more board wipes to this deck. I haven't updated it in a while. I say as I recently just showed a Modern Horizons 2 card. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The meat. Ooh, the steak of the deck. The creatures. The creatures. Wood Elves. I run quite a few. Okay, not that much, but I mostly run Creature Ramp in this deck because Gyrus kind of lets me use him twice. Sakura Tribe Elder, Farhaven Elf, and then these next creatures I'm going to be showing off help get stuff into the graveyard. Nyx Weaver mills 2 cards in my upkeep. Same with, where is he? Splinter Fright. Although, I can't really do Splinter Fright that early because he's usually like a 0/0 at the beginning of the game, which sucks. But whatever. Golgari Grave Troll, a true powerhouse in this deck, can really just bin stuff into my graveyard. Same with Underrealm Lich. That's for every time you draw, by the way. This is for every time you draw. I've milled out once because of this. Bontu helps sacrifice stuff. I also just have him laying around, so. Yahenni, Undying Partisan, another good sack outlet. Yahenni's gonna get huge. Corpse Connoisseur, there's my other tutor effect. Why not? It's pretty good. Shambling Shell, the diet version of Golgari Grave Troll. Stitcher Supplier, good 1-drop to start filling up the bin early. Now it's time for the tools of the deck. I've got some life gain and life loss. This could also just be a win condition. Gary, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Removal, we've got some Ravenous Chupacabras, Slum Reapers, Fleshbag Marauders. Those, if I can get those kind of going early with Gyrus, it makes it hard for people to set up with early like utility creatures in the beginning of the game. So, fun. Shriekmaw, again, just blow up something. Let's see, what else? We also have Meteor Golem, because blowing up stuff is fun, and I don't want to pay 7 mana for it. I'd rather just pay 4 mana with Gyrus, wait a turn, and then bring him out because he's 3 power. Nice. Reclamation Sage, always a good creature, so is Acidic Slime. Basics to have. Oxida Scrap Smelter, it's half of a Reclamation Sage, but it's like an armadillo. No, wait, that's Porcupine. Actually, I don't know what that is. Invader Parasite. Have you ever been in a Commander game where someone plays a pesky land that's just given them too much value? No, you don't. Ravenous guys. This is a fun card. I don't think I have ever pulled it off. I really want to. It just sounds fun. And then some more utility with Regal Force. Draw a whole bunch of cards. And then the next few cards help me interact with the graveyard a bit. Eternal Witness, in case I mill something that I don't really want to mill, like an enchantment that I can't get back with Gyrus. It do be like that sometimes. Genesis, again, to help me bring stuff back from the graveyard. Same with Garner the Bloodflame, which I also think she can combo in this deck. Ramunap Excavator, the pretty art, and can really make sure I hit my land drops and that I'm not just screwing myself by milling my own lands. Channel Horde Worm, it's expensive. It's hard to... It gotta jump through some hoops. He's gotta deal combat damage to an opponent, but he is recurable value by just getting stuff back out of my graveyard. So, pretty good. Whisper is a beast in this deck, and I'll show you why in just a minute again later. But that is a powerful ability. Gerard Golgari Lichlord, mainly here for utility, but again, with the right creatures out, he can be my win condition. Oh boy, I have tilted some people with this card. These next few cards are just kind of like my powerhouses. Master of Cruelties. I've killed someone on turn 3 with this card. He was not happy. Hornet Queen, again with my little token doubler, can be pretty good. And plus, the hornets that it makes stay when I get it out with Gyrus. So, pretty neat. Avenger. Because it's a good card. And then these two just help with +1/+1 counters because Gyrus uses +1/+1 counters. Forgotten Ancient. Whenever a player casts a spell, it's a 1/1 counter. That can be pretty good. Corpse Jack Menace. Double the 1/1 counters. Pretty neat. And then Vivictus, because he is just my pet card, and I love him, and I don't care if he isn't that good in the deck. I don't care that his attack trigger doesn't go off when I bring him out with Gyrus. I will keep him in the deck because he is my favorite dragon. Boy, shut up. Xenagos, God of Revels. I'm sorry, I bought the Secret Lair. I like the Constellation arts, and I liked all the gods. Yeah, this can, first of all, buff up Gyrus, which is always good because his ability depends on his power. And it makes him it gives him haste, which is also another good card. And then this card wins games. Lord of Extinction. I can mill people out with it with Altar of Dementia. I can drain people with Gerard Golgari Lichlord. Or I could just, beat people to death with a giant creature. It's great. That was my deck tech on Gyrus, Lord Waker of Corpses. I almost just called him Gyrus, Lord of Extinction. This is a good card. I hope you... see ya.